Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So, you may have heard already, if not, two members of Congress resigned yesterday. So, there was one Democrat and one Republican. The first to go, the first to announce was Eric Swalwell, who I mentioned at length yesterday. There were allegations of assault, of harassment against young staff members, and he denies all of those allegations across the board. However, he did drop out of the race. And then yesterday he decided, actually, I'm leaving Congress. So we don't know when. He said that he is going to work with his staff so that their work can continue. But it sounds like he will be leaving pretty quickly. And then he released this statement. He said, I am deeply sorry to my family, staff, and constituents for mistakes in judgment I've made in my past. I will fight the serious false allegations made against me. However, I must take responsibility and ownership for the mistake I did make. So that news broke right basically as Congress was set to vote. I guess they were planning to take a vote to expel not just Eric Swalwell, but other members of Congress who have been accused of wrongdoing, particularly sexual assault, sexual harassment, things like that. One of the other people, one of the other Congress members that they were considering for expulsion was Texas Republican Tony Gonzalez. So you're going to remember this guy. I mentioned him as well. I did a segment on him. I think it was maybe about a month ago or so. It had come out that Gonzalez, who's married, by the way, had an affair with a married staffer who later took her own life. So their relationship or involvement ended about a year later. I think it was the summer of, it was either the summer of 2024 or summer of 2025. I can't remember. But she took her own life tragically, left behind a husband, and I believe she had at least one child. So Gonzalez initially denied this. He said, "Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't have an affair, blah, blah, blah." Ultimately, there was so much evidence. So many other people had known, had found out about the affair that he had to admit that, yes, I did have an affair with her. And then he agreed that he wouldn't seek reelection this November. Well, last week, there were additional accusations that were published against him by multiple news outlets. So here's an article about that. This came out in Newsweek. And according to this article, Gonzalez sent these absolutely wildly inappropriate text messages to campaign aides. Or I think it was one in particular. He asked the aide what kind of panties she wears, and in another one, he asked her, "Hey, what do you like in the bedroom? Like, is there any red line or anything that's off limits?" And then he also asked her to squeeze his twins. And I think you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about his children, talking about his boys. Again, not his children. And then in other text messages, Gonzalez said this to her, quote, "If I come over, though, your panties are coming off, though." And then he said in another one, "I know what I want and won't stop till I get it." Keep in mind, this is a married man with 6 children at home. Hey everyone, I am cutting in here real quick to share something with you that I think is really valuable, because if you're 64 or older, you know that you need to choose your Medicare coverage, and it can be very confusing. There's supplemental, there's Part D, there's all different kinds of options, and you could be wasting money on things that you don't need. So a company called Chapter reached out to me, and the reason I partnered with them is because, number one, their services are completely free. Also, they've been able to save people thousands of dollars a year. And so all you have to do is give them a call. They will give you everything you need. They'll tell you the truth if you're on the right plan, and they'll give you other options if there might be something out there that's better for you, cheaper, whatever the case may be. So give them a call today. Their number is, as you see below, 272-225-0752. His wife is over raising his 6 children, and this is what he's saying to a young staff member. So anyway, Gonzalez has now also announced that he's resigning, although again, he didn't give any specific time frame, so we don't know when that's happening. Um, but as you see here, they're both out, and good riddance to both of them. And here's the thing: if you can't keep your pants on, keep it in your pants while you're away from your spouse, don't run for Congress. Then don't be away from your spouse for long periods of time, right? Or get a divorce. I mean, the obvious conclusion is this is exactly why these people seek public office, because they don't want to be around their spouse, or they want to be in DC where no one's around to catch them having affairs, right? It's an easy way to hide what you want to do. It's just beyond disturbing. And if you want to sleep with other people in general, whether you're a public official or not, just go get a divorce. Anyway, I know a lot of people are saying, well, Swalwell was railroaded, right? The allegations weren't proven. He clearly knows something we don't. Like if all of this was false, he would not be resigning so quickly after these allegations came out. So something clear, and he is saying himself, I'm sorry for mistakes I've made in the past. Well, what mistakes are those? Like, clearly he did something that he wasn't supposed to do. I've heard people saying that, oh, he was cheating, and he finally admit that he was cheating, but not with young staffers. I mean, come on. Is this the best we can do? This is supposed to be the cream of the crop in America. This is supposed to be the best people that we have who make it to this level of power. And we can't elect people who have morals? Is that what we're saying? We can't elect people who have ethics, who don't lie? If all of us felt that way and held people to that standard, I think that we would see a much better outcome in our government. I think that we would see people acting with far more dignity and compassion and empathy, and just caring about other human beings rather than lining their own pockets and, using insider information to play the stock market and take all kinds of massive amounts of money from big money donors and corporations. And I mean, it all is tied together. It may not seem like it. You may think like, oh, what does cheating have to do with, taking corporate PAC money and, being an insider trader and screwing over your constituents and not keeping your word? It's all the same. It's all either you have morals and ethics, or you kind of sort of like, yeah, I can maybe not follow through on this promise. I can maybe not follow through on that one. I mean, it just snowballs. It snowballs out of control. I mean, before you know it, you take one little step over the line and then another little step over the line. Pretty soon, you're so far over the line that you can't even see it anymore. So let's start electing people who actually have not just common sense, but actual morals and ethics. Let's see if that works out better. All right, guys. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. I will have more for you, I'm sure, as all of these allegations pan out or more information comes out. And then there's obviously more people in Congress who have allegations against them who still haven't stepped down. So we'll see what happens with that. I'll keep an eye on it all and I'll let you know when I hear more. So thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please donate if you possibly can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.